Is virtual Zoom meeting on the 5th something you want us to get into?
If you want, you can let me know and I'll register you. I don't know if that owl's working.
There we go. Lights come on. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Darcy, would take roll, please.
Moore?
Here.
Marr?
Here.
Moody?
Here.
Engstrom?
Here.
Engelhardt?
Here.
All right, thank you. Item 3 is the pledge. Everybody please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The owl?
That was
Yeah,
the owl.
it's-
All right, item 4 then is perfection and approval of the agenda. Is there a motion for that, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. So no, carry. Okay, item 5 is public comment time.
I have 2 quick things
All right.
from the public. My name is Crystal Duffy, and I'm a postal public library director and a community developer for the city. So I got an anonymous, should I wait or is it?
Can you see yourself on here?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want to, but yes. I
I don't think that owl's working right.
I got an anonymous note at the library. I mean, I know who sent it, but they don't want their name used. About talking about leaf collection. Would it be possible to make a new ruling or ordinance for everyone to rake their own leaves into the street so the city can pick them up? Like everyone had to trim their grass and not let it grow more than 4 inches. It would sure help us out a lot. I know this is a person who is a little older and has some mobility issues. It would sure help us out a lot because we get all the leaves from across the street and other houses, and we have to clean that up. And I can see too at the library, I have to pay someone every year to clean up our leaves, and like they're not even ours. We don't have a single tree on our property, but yeah. So that's from a public person. And then also had a question about if we were going to be planting crops this year on the land where we bought we're not.
Nope.
Okay, so some of the folks who live near there have expressed issue with like things getting into the pond and blocking stuff up, and yeah, so
You
awesome.
mean like garbage that goes into the pond?
From that
I
little
think what they're
culvert.
talking about is
Behind Dollar General.
this year it was corn. We have a stock chopper on our combine. So, and the wind blows. And guess where the stocks go?
Sure.
So, yeah, that's going to come to an end.
All right,
It'll get seeded down and everybody will be happy.
cool, thanks.
Anybody else? All right, and then we'll go on to item 6, health insurance. Brian. So Brian, please, when you get up there, we are broadcasting.
Okay,
So give us your name, please.
sure. Brian Hinker from Assured Partners in Decorah.
Can you see yourself in there?
I can, and I like it.
Yeah.
Not quite. Puts 20 on.
Yeah.
But Darcy, did they?
I did not
Okay.
give them that information. no.
Okay, maybe just should I
Sure.
give a little bit?
Mhm.
Darcy had reached out a couple weeks ago just to see what we had to offer health insurance wise, any options. And we have received one different quote back, went through that, I think on Thursday.
Mhm.
I have that in front of us, and personally, I don't think right now we should.
I have my copy, so.
Okay, I'm going a little blind. I print off one too.
Oh,
Not
here,
enough.
here,
No.
here.
No, you can have this one. Actually, I
Hey,
don't.
I'm on Medicare.
All right, so we still are technically waiting on one quote from Aetna. There's limited options with cities. Today you have a Walmart grandmothered plan. No, sorry, you have an ACA age-rated plan. That plan is going from $5,500 deductible to $6,000 deductible next year, a silver HSA that the city currently buys down to $750,
Mhm.
$1,500.
Yeah, 1,500 family, yep.
Plan. So we looked through some different options. At this, we talked a little bit about some of our groups we have the ability to offer more than one plan in our current setup. Some groups offer an Iowa only option that's 15 to 20% lower and give the employees a choice. Given, I would say, where we're at with the union, that would be an option. We don't know how many would take that. I would say based on the prior negotiations, we would definitely want to offer the national network plan. And then if an employee wanted to take the Iowa only, they could get that money potentially in an HSA or other manner. So it would have a zero impact on the city's budget. That would be one option. We do have some constraints because the way we fund our plan down, it technically is not HSA eligible. So we buy a high deductible plan, but then funding it down to the $750 there's minimal requirements from the government in terms of how high your deductible is to be able to contribute to an HSA. So this is all very wordy. The plans in the blue are different Walmart plans. You can see on the top here where it says HMO, kind of three lines down. That's the Iowa only style plan. None of those are super appealing. I wouldn't think, unless we went that route of offering the Iowa only plan and having that differential somehow going back to the employee in a flex or something other than an HSA. The plans in the red, and the other plan we're looking at, it's a process called level funding, where we probably have 50 to 60 groups doing level funding today. It's based on health, like we didn't have to fill out health applications for the city. We had enough people to automatically get a underwritten quote. But basically there's a way around the age-rated plans via your health. This is one of those plans. The other plan we're waiting on is Aetna. The numbers are very solid. This company, Mid-America Association, this is their first year coming into Iowa. They've got 50 years experience in Michigan and east of here. The rates are quite impressive. The questions though I have with our plan, with your plan today, some of them I can't answer 100%. One of them, so network wise, that's always a big one where we live. Mayo is in, Gunderson is in, Veterans is in, Palmer is in, WinMed is in, Crossing Rivers is not. And Prairie du Chien, that's one that we found. The other kind of concern would be, I'm not exactly sure how the buying down these deductibles would go, because we've never worked with them in the past. I expect we'll have 7 to 10 groups that move to them for January 1st. So this is something that in the future, next year at this time, I would be able to report back and say this is exactly
That's
how.
with the Iowa only plan.
That's what this Mid-America.
Oh, okay, now we're at level funding.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, level funding.
Yep. So the Iowa only plan I've got confidence in just because we've done it a lot. And basically any of our individuals in Northeast Iowa, if they don't have it through a business, they likely have it through the Iowa only plan. So we're comfortable with that. Right now, we just don't have I don't think it's a very clean mechanism to.
Does that mean that if you go out of state and you need health care, let's say you're traveling, you need to go to the hospital, if it's an emergency, is it covered?
Good question. Yes.
But if it isn't, let's say that you have a sore throat and you need to go somewhere, it won't be covered
That's exactly right. Emergencies are covered
everywhere.
but if you wouldn't be able to schedule an appointment at Gunderson for strep throat or even really if you had a knee issue, they would.
How did you know that? Just kidding.
Well, I always give the example of if I get my appendix out and I still have it in, which is unbelievable because I've said that 1,000 times.
But I guess, but if it's an emergency, but if you say under this Mid-American one,
Mm-hmm.
that is covered with at Gunderson and Mayo, which is at WinMed is Mayo.
Yep.
But I could go, if you have an appointment, that's, your insurance is covered, right?
So Mid-America's 100% different than the Iowa only plan. That's its own insurance company.
Oh, is it up here then?
That's in the red.
Well, it also says Mid-American on each one of those.
Those are all different options in Mid-America on the red. In the blue, there's a couple.
When they say HMO, that's Iowa.
That's Iowa only.
Yeah, okay, oh, I see.
Yeah.
But the deductibles are pretty high.
They are, and that's similar to today. We'll buy a $6,000 deductible, and then the city has a reserve
Self-insures.
fund.
We
Yeah,
self-insure.
down to the $750, $1,500.
Okay. So even if you pick the Iowa only, the deductibles are higher than,
Well, and I wouldn't get too hung up on the deductibles because we buy them down. The clearly, Mid-America rates are,
but you're just, and looking at the premiums too, though.
yeah,
The Mid-Americans is a little cheaper.
it is. It is. Period.
Okay.
My concern is not knowing the buy down enough. I don't love coming into a new group and being, buy this for the rates. But I guess I think you stay the course. Do we consider the Iowa option or looking at it, diving deeper? Do we look at different things that way? That would be the conversation. And it's definitely here to answer questions.
So I don't think that the employees would be happy with the Iowa only at all. That we're going to have uprising here because most of these employees are going to Gunderson or Mayo. They're not in the state of Iowa where we live in Northeast Iowa. Just doesn't happen. You talk about the Mid-American, that is so new in Iowa. To me, it kind of almost sounds like ICAP, like where it's self-insured, right? Your money's being in a pool and then the pool's paying the claims. And if you have a good year, you would get credit back. If you have a bad year, not so much. Being that that's so new, I don't know that I would feel comfortable being one of the first ones in it. So, I mean, we've been happy with our Wellmark. I think we did have a price increase. That deductible has gone up, which kind of surprised me. Does it increase every year on the silver plan like that?
No, it's
Because we originally started out with when we switched to this plan a year ago, we were told that our deductible was $5,000 single, $10,000 family. we get into it, we're towards the end of the year here, and then I find out that it was actually 5,500, 11,000 families. So it wasn't what we originally thought it was. So we have a third-party base that administers our buy down or our self-insurance with our employees. Well, we had our base set up for 5,000 single, 10,000 family. Well, now we're to the end of the year here, and that's not what our deductibles were. So, you know, which is okay, but I've got one employee that we're going to somehow have to owe him money here, and I don't know what that is because we're $1,000 from what that plan is to what the base was set up as our third party.
How did that change happen?
I have no idea.
Well, but it's just-
I mean, during the middle of the year?
No.
Middle of the
It
contract?
wasn't, I think it was, we were told a deductible amount and that's not what it was. So, so now with the renewal, we've got an increase of, on the silver plan of like 4.4%. But then the deductible is going up again.
Mhm.
Is that just part of what that plan does, being on that silver? It just, every year it goes up in the deductible? You don't have an option?
Kind of,
Okay.
not necessarily every year. It varies. Like this year, these bronze plans had been 7,500 in the middle for a number of years. This year they bumped to 8,050. I don't know how Wellmark makes those decisions, but our issue is we're stuck with their canned plans.
Right.
I do think the 6 is probably where you want to be to bump up to the, and that'd be something like if we worked with you, that would be something we would do with the third party, is analyze, okay, we've got a fair amount of lives on the plan.
Mhm.
What are we hitting?
Right.
How many hit? And then we would come back and say, okay, for the last 3 years, here's what we've hit. This is pretty consistent. Do we take more risk, go to that 8,050, have more risk in the claims and see if we can win, kind of like we've done historically with a lot of different groups. But I guess, Darcy invited me or asked us to participate and look at some options. That would be our ask, or what can we bring to the table? It would be probably this year, suggesting that you renew with that $6,000 national plan. I would never suggest that we take that away. Maybe in the future we could offer, here's the national plan, here's the Iowa plan, or maybe even as early as next year, or potentially next week, if Aetna comes back competitive, somebody that has been in the market longer, we would have multiple options.
Mhm.
Would be kind of our selling point.
Darcy, you were led to believe that we had a $5,000 or $5,500 debt.
What the
5,000.
council approved was a 5,000 deductible single, 10,000 family with the silver plan.
And it turns out being,
And it ended up being 5,500 and 11,000.
Are you an insurance broker, basically?
Yeah, agent, broker.
So you have different, are these the only ones that you deal with?
No, we've
These are
got,
the competitive ones.
yeah, we're waiting on one other. Yeah, Aetna, good, yeah, since I started going down that path. There's several others that don't do public entities. United Healthcare is in the mix, but they are higher than Wellmark's age rates today. So I, quite honestly, I don't even show it because you wouldn't switch companies to pay a higher rate.
Right,
But
no.
that in the past has happened. So that's kind of our, it's really all we do. We monitor that market and then, help on the backside, give advice and help. helping people.
And this renewal plan is not changing anything. Okay, so so far, everybody's been good with the plan itself.
Yeah, have you had issues? No?
Okay. So it's just the dollars.
And well, the dollars and that's
And the higher
highlighted red.
deductible.
Yeah.
It's 500.
Are you coming to the county with only a 4.4% increase?
Sure.
Hold you to that.
Oh man, we're recorded.
Thank you.
All over the state, man. Yes, yes.
I would be the favorite one on that committee.
All right, any more questions for Brian?
When you get those numbers from Aetna,
Yeah,
will you come back?
I can definitely do that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That'd be great.
Or if you hear any more about this Mid-American,
Yeah, well, I mean,
I agree. I don't know that just having been on the county insurance committee too, I don't want to be the first
Mhm.
go to, try something new.
I hope.
Somebody has to be, but I don't know that I want us to be.
Well, and we're in that situation too. You've got unions. All of that is so it's kind of
Well, it's one thing to save money, but in the long term, if you have to spend money to finally find out how you're saving money, then you're not saving money.
no. And normally, when you find out that you didn't do a good job, is when somebody really needs it.
Mhm.
So yeah.
All right.
Right.
Thanks,
Brian.
Brian.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Have a good night.
You too. All righty, let's move on into item 7, resolution number 1443-24, a resolution appointing to the E911 board for Clayton County. I believe right now we've got Matt as alternate,
And Ben Heitland as.
and Ben Heitland is and I must have dropped the ball on that. I did not get a hold of Ben, but I think if we go ahead, I think we can go ahead and appoint these two fellas, and then I'll talk to them.
You need a motion?
Yes.
I move that we appoint Ben Highland and Matt Ellis to represent us at the Clayton County E911 board.
All right. Second, is there?
I'll second.
Mary? Is that a roll call? Okay. Whenever you're ready.
Moore,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Ingstrom,
Yes.
Engelhardt.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Okay, then item 8 is set public hearing to amend budget FY 24-25. And the date of that would be the 9th of December. Darcy, you want to explain that a
Yeah,
little bit?
so I kind of just have a rough draft out for you now. Some of the things that we need to amend our current budget for is the additional expenditures that we had with our police department and spending some of that camera money. And one of the major things would be the Ziegler water sewer project. We just got those engineering estimates late Friday, so I'll be amending the draft that I gave you. We're looking at anywhere from $500,000 to $600,000 for that project. So we'll have to see how we can make that work. So right now, you're just setting the public hearing to have that amendment at your December 9th meeting.
I move that we decide to have the public hearing at our next meeting.
Becky's made the motion.
On the
Second?
amendment.
I'll
Second, Lori.
second
Laura?
that.
All right. This would just be
Regular.
voice. Okay, all of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Okay, we got that set.
So you're saying that on the capital projects thing where it was 300,000, we would add like 800,000?
Yeah, unless I figure out the timeline where it's broken into,
Oh.
because we might not do construction until spring, that might drag us into another fiscal.
Mm.
So it might just be a portion.
Okay.
I've got to kind of work with Lindsay still on that time frame too. So
Any other things on that? Okay, then if not, let's go on to item 9. That's the consent agenda. Thing in there you guys want to talk about?
Are there lights along the sidewalk? We'll find out the topic. Are there lights along the sidewalk in the pool at the park?
At-
There's no light.
You mean now? Outside, you mean?
Yeah, outside lights along the cement walkway.
It's just street light on
Street
the
lights.
corner of,
Aren't there lamp posts there?
there's lamp posts that go down into the park. I don't
park,
know
but
if they're on.
they're not on though. Yeah, it's always dark down there.
Should they be?
Park closes at what, 9:30?
10:30, I think.
10:30.
Just a question.
I can
Yeah.
check
Be
into
there
it.
for safety or for, my wife, not that she's, everybody that's out in the dark is at risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole section's dark.
Yeah.
Even on,
Sometimes.
even
maybe
across
some
the
light is
road
a
too,
Deterrent to shenanigans.
Oh, you're
I'll
right.
check into it.
Yeah. I think, did we also at one time, didn't we request Alliant we've had the complaint of even our streetlights being a little dim.
And we talked to him about that.
Yes.
And we had the tree trimmed. We spent like $800 to get the tree trimmed down in that area.
Yep.
And
But then they give us even the different size bulb in there.
and they did that.
Yeah,
So I'm not sure what more.
they did put the
Mhm.
bigger bulb in. Okay.
And where is that, at the park?
No, it was
Around
gosh,
the corner.
yeah.
I thought they didn't put in the brighter light bulb because we were gonna.
And we
first see if
trimmed the tree.
Yeah, if the trimming of the tree would help.
I think we were gonna try and add another light and they didn't recommend it.
Right.
Yeah. But I think they did put in a brighter bulb.
Where's the brighter bulb? I don't know what we're talking about.
I wanna say it's like right on the intersection of,
With Bob Schrader, yes.
yeah, near Bob Schrader, I would have to
Oh,
say.
by Oak
Yeah.
and Wilson,
Mhm.
or the one up. Okay.
But I mean, even a lot of them aren't very bright. They're just not very bright,
Yeah.
and yeah.
As long as Crystal's here, how was your first official month?
Busy.
Yeah.
Based on your report, it was-
Yeah, let me get my phone. I have a couple, well, this is all related to that too, so I was gonna do public comment time. so I'll bring this
motion
out.
flood.
So Clayton County Development Group isn't thrilled about the budget cut they got last year, which, who is? But they did ask me to sort of speak on their behalf with what they actually do for the money that we're sending them. That was one of the budgets like Val at El McKee, Economic Development, Upper Explorerland, all those budgets got cut in half. So as I've said to everyone in the public, it's so much more impactful when they come themselves, but I always tell them I will present information. So I just wanted to show you a couple things that Clayton County Development Group does. They produce these farmers markets, laminated really nice posters every year, and they bring them around all the communities, and we're on that, even though our farmers market is decidedly not in Clayton County. And they too they advertise for us everything in town. They don't ever go, oh, well, that's not in Clayton County, so we're not gonna put it on. They're happy to do all of it. They also make these little savor the flavors cards every year with, which I update with them every year since I've been doing this, with our restaurants on it. They also do yearly events, which I've already sent them for next year, this little events card. And I've already sent them the Big Four Fair and the Hometown Parade. And I have Longbow Mayor Parade on there, but it's like time TBA. Trying to get some dates and things out of certain parts of our community are harder than others. Hopefully we'll have some more events to add to those. And I think the big thing they did this last year, some of you remember a few years ago, they did a tourism video in Postville. It's got like the new playground at the school on it. Lots of folks in our community have found that video very helpful for a variety of things. So they just shot a new one this year. And I'm like one of the stand-ins because it was at 6 a.m. and no one wanted to come out and shop on Green Street at 6 a.m. Imagine that. So it's beautiful. I've seen the footage, I've heard the voiceover. It's got drone footage of the pool and Lowell's Park. It absolutely looks gorgeous. So you can imagine that costs a pretty penny. I can tell you our Heart and Soul video that we produced was like, what, 6,000? So something like that. I wasn't here yet. So anyway, so they do a lot. Just sharing to keep that in mind when you guys make decisions about that again for their budget. I don't know that they're.
How can we see this video?
It's going to be it's in editing right now. They sent it to me to make sure everything that they said was like accurate, but it should be available publicly soon. I think it would be. I'm sure it'll be on YouTube, and I will make sure to share the heck out of it in all places. You can do a newspaper article, all the things, but it's not quite done yet. So yeah, so just keeping that stuff in mind. I've encouraged them to come themselves too, because I said, I talk about a lot of things, so but I just wanted to share that. And I highlighted, and I meant to do this on your little, I printed it out, where'd it go? I have so many papers. Oh, I highlighted some things, and I'll probably do this next time on like a few, make them bold, some things on the list, like what I got done that I think are like big or really exciting or, but one of the things I'm excited to start doing the end of this month, maybe next month, I'm going to have a monthly column from the Community Development Office in the newspaper called Community Connections. I did not think of that. The paper was like, you should call it this. And I was like, sold. So writing a column every month to share like one of the big projects that we're working on or ways that folks can get involved, increasing that communication between the city and our residents. And a thing that I think is really going to help a lot of the things that we want to get done, like this is a huge thing that I think is going to be a foundation to a lot of things and help in a lot of ways, is I started a database of folks in town that are bilingual that are able to volunteer or work for pay at different kinds of events. And this came to me because we had to sign up 400 people for appointments with the Bonneville Consulate at the library. And we only had 2 bilingual staff, and it was like pretty stressful and very overwhelming. And I thought, what if we had a list of go-to folks, and anytime there's an event, I just send an email, day, time, is it pay, is it not, and then people can write me back. So, and say they want to help. And the more people we have on the list, the more chances we have of people being able to help with these things. A couple things coming up too that I know in my mind it would help with. ISU Extension is trying to work on getting some kind of a dental program in town in spring, like a one-day kind of, because a lot of folks in town don't have access to dental until it's really, really bad. And so we would absolutely need translators for that. And those are paid positions. So this isn't just about volunteering, although that is something the community said they cared about. It's also about offering folks jobs in town. We also do host that low-income tax prep at the library every year. And we need bilingual folks to help with that, especially for taxes, right? So having someone scheduled who can come in and help with that, that's also paid. So anyway, so that's something that I think will really make our lives a lot easier. And I've already got over 30 people on it. Most of them have been notified. Some of them I put their names on and I have to get their approval. But and another thing, I'm going to be meeting with someone for my EDA about how we can have our storefronts not be empty. Kind of a similar thing to like when you guys we auctioned off that property, there was a stipulation that it had to be built on within, what was it, like a year? Kind of a similar thing where if a property gets bought on the main drags or a certain zoning, that it needs to be built on or opened within a certain amount of time as a business, so that we don't just have these storefronts sitting here that aren't for sale, that aren't occupied, that nothing's happening with, and it just makes it look kind of like a ghost town. So that is not going to be an easy or quick process, but the wheels are starting to turn. So
I have a question.
yeah,
Just because I don't understand, what is H&S window panels?
Heart and Soul.
Oh,
We had a little bit of extra money at the end of Heart and Soul grant funding that we had to spend because I'm really cheap. And so I had thought about getting vinyl put on the windows at City Hall with because there's 7 windows in front and we had 7 Heart and Soul statements. So instead of permanent vinyl, which would be permanent and would have needed like a boom and installation and been a little expensive, my husband came up with the idea to have the sign company, the one in Decorah, Letterworks, put them on like white panels, kind of like the election signs that you'll see in yards, the yard signs. And so if you look at the front of City Hall, I am going to have him take professional, really nice pictures where the colors are really amped up and it's not so dreary looking because it's like rainy now. And then I'm gonna share about it too, but they're up there. We installed those like several weeks ago. So they're on the front of the building.
I should have thought of that part.
And it makes the building, I think, look a little bit peppier.
That's
So,
the front of this building.
yeah, it's upstairs.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna be hard to see them at night, but if you walk by on the other side of the road during daylight,
Have you heard back from Decorah about the ideas about?
oh, I've already scheduled with them. And then I'm gonna meet with Wacon's chamber as well, so.
So I think we need to get that going
Mhm.
soon.
And you're set up with an office upstairs?
No, I'm just working out of the library. I have dual
Are we still gonna
monitors.
do that, or are we not, or?
Her office is here.
It's there.
Oh,
That was just because I saw how sunny it was, but you guys ripped all the carpet out, so anyway. But no, I think it's easier from the library with a big old computer and dual monitors and stuff like that. It's easier to do all the things I need to do, so. Okay,
Thank you.
So if you make connection with Darla Kelton at Clayton County Economic Development.
we've already been in contact for
Right.
2 years. Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, she, where I ran into her, some event, I don't know if it was a producer event, a livestock producer event or what it was. But she had a lot of ideas about Clayton County, since our land is in Clayton County. A lot of ideas of sources of grants and things like that, I believe. to help
Oh,
make
yeah, we
that
talk every
Clayton.
week or multiple times a week, so.
Okay. Pick her brain on that, for the development of the new housing development, okay?
All right, thanks, Crystal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anything else on the consent agenda?
You ever
What's
find
this?
the missing female juvenile? There was a missing juvenile. Did you find it?
I have no idea what
I
she's
have
talking
no
about.
idea what you're talking about. Oh, wait, on there?
Police report.
Yeah, that was, it was located and it was in another county that it actually initially happened at, but ended up here, yep.
Okay, thank you. Just checking.
I have a question on this pass around from George Hilby.
Yeah.
about Receiving $48,600 for this year, and that went to,
The K-9 vehicle and equipment
that was a grant through Ashley Henson's office,
through USDA.
and you applied for, you
I
had applied
did.
for
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Thank you.
That's great.
Okay,
Matt and I beat it down.
okay.
Speaking of that, Dr. Moore, I got a call from, not Ashley Henson's office,
KWW was,
Joni Ernst's office.
oh,
They're, one day last week, congratulating me and the council for getting this grant, and, well, I said, thank you, but I really can't, because I watched Darcy, I think when Matt and Darcy sat down first and they started talking about this grant, and I think it was a year, of, I don't know how else to say this, but putting up with a lot of stuff, because, and it seemed like they'd get something filled out and it wasn't right. But they're pretty tenacious. These guys are tenacious. They went after the money, and it was 68,000 something. And then, so the lady from the office said, how hard that is to get? The question to me, and I says, I know, but I said, long story short, I says, I can't accept the credit for this. I said it goes to first of all, Darcy, the lady that spent a lot of time putting this together. And then Matt, it was a collaboration. So they did very, very well, especially when you get a call, from Joni Ernst's office and say that this is something that you shouldn't take very lightly, that you got it, because it worked. So
Good job,
thanks, you
ladies and
guys.
gentlemen.
Yes. Very good. Very good. So that helps out our bottom line when you can get that done. So, yeah.
Can you find 450,000 now for?
And then
Sewer water?
you had to be so forward looking ahead for the grant coming down the pipeline, you might have to look a year ahead.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times it just seems like I've been, in all the things I've done in front of the public and for the public, and especially if it's a grant involved, I think part of the part of the program is we're going to make it so tough on you that you're going to give up. You know, and I saw that happen a lot where folk just got fed up and said, we're just getting nowhere with this. And that's how it works. But these guys didn't, you know, and they went after it and got it. So,
Good job.
yeah. All right. Anything else on the consent agenda?
There was couple of things on there with some of the street guys about sanitary lids or manhole covers. We're getting
With
had
the
some
DOT.
issues. Yeah,
Mhm.
is that
Yeah, so that is part of the contract with the DOT, and the contractor was, there's 3 lids that, from what Chris told me, they're like odd shaped.
okay?
And so they couldn't get the correct seal on them. And so the DOT is not agreeing to pay until those 3 manholes are done. And the contractor is upset because they want their money and they don't know how to correct the 3 odd-shaped holes. So then they came back to the city, and where we left it was the issue is between the contractor and the DOT. So whatever they decide, but if you're giving the contractor a change order that they don't have to do it, and so they're going to give you back a credit, basically.
Money.
That money needs to come to the city of Postville because we're going to have to correct those 3 manholes. So as far as I know, they're still.
How does a manhole get out of round, or how does the cover not be round?
It's like the steel in it is like an odd shape.
It came that way.
Well, it's just.
It was manufactured
Yeah.
that way, and evidently they couldn't, you know, when they tore it out to do the project, they couldn't get the correct seal, you know. So,
Mhm.
I mean, these are things that honestly I believe that they were overlooked when you bid a job. They didn't
They
say
were
that this
new or
this
they
could be a
were
possibility,
existing
you
and
know.
had to
But
be
yeah,
replaced?
Right, they were
They're
existing.
existing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the I don't know, multiple concrete square, I don't know if they're stormwater tubes or still whatever that are still up at Zabel's lot, or those
those are Zabel's.
they're theirs. Okay.
Yeah.
They're not something that's
No.
left over from that project yet to do.
No.
Okay.
Those are like cement culverts, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was still something, but that's their project.
That's theirs. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And Ziegler's are now finding out that the dry time would have been nice. Their pond
It,
caught
yeah.
up to them.
Doesn't rain really causes a mess, don't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
I'll know
There's
if the ground was level or not. This way, the water showed you the levelness of it.
Yeah,
Somebody did
evidently,
the transit
yeah.
right.
But they're at her, you know, they're wading through the mud and
Yeah,
then
that's what
pouring
5 bubbles are
concrete.
for.
And, yeah. So yeah. Right. Anything else with the consent agenda? If not, or is there a motion to accept that?
Go ahead, Ruth.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All right. So all those in favor say aye.
All right,
Opposed say no. All right, then item 10 is the resolution for money to pay the bills. Is there a motion for that?
so move.
Larry, second?
I'll say.
Laura, all right. Darcy, whenever you're ready.
Moore,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Ingstrom,
Yes.
Engelhardt.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Okay, item 11, public comment time again. Anybody's got anything? All right.
Been having problems with my hips and doing it. I'll trip over normal salmon. And I was thinking back to years ago when we had a lot of activities going on at Christmas time or whatever. Is there anything planned by the city or any groups? And it's like, I'm just kind of wondering what.
Like a parade or a.
No, not a parade. Remember, we used to have contests where the windows would be decorated. Somebody said something about windows downtown would be decorated. And then we'd have luminaries up and down the streets. At one time, we did that. We had housing decorating contests, and they got postal bucks for that. And I know we have there's craft, is it the Saturday after?
30th and the 1st,
30th?
November 30th.
Okay.
So I think I took a picture of it because I didn't know if I'd see it anywhere again.
Do we do anything? I can't remember from last year, because, well, I haven't been here for a lot of Christmas.
There's a craft show November 30th and December 1st.
There's a lot more going on at that event than that. It's a festival of trees, craft show, vendors, there's like making crafts too. There's a coffee bar by Gear from El Cater. Sorry, that's what I thought.
And this is the childcare fundraiser. right?
Yeah, so it's the childcare working on it. We've also been hoping to like advertise it, but maybe not places you guys see it.
This is craft show.
It's got a lot of other stuff. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I've been emailing with,
I think Driftless Meat Market is going to be, I read something once.
there's a lot of stuff going on. I just sent this last week a little advertisement about it to the Wakan newspaper does like a little Christmas events in the area every year. So I just sent a write up to them last week about that.
And
So
it's taking place where? City
it's
Hall?
at
In
the Postville Elementary Gym.
Turtle? Okay, Jim.
That says the child, does it say that on that flyer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last year it was at Turner Hall because of the wrestling that's being
Oh, yeah, it does say.
at the rec center. But yeah, it's at the elementary gym this year.
That used to be called the all-purpose room when I was.
When I worked there.
Yeah, it did.
But anyhow, I was just kind of wondering, so does council, anybody have any idea?
That would be me, but I just started, so I didn't really think there was enough time for me to plan a whole.
Okay.
But I wrote your ideas down and I have a few ideas for next year.
Yeah.
But I like things to run well and be well planned out, and for me, that means more than like a month.
Because they also did at one time, there was, John Hyman had shop class, cut out like a wooden little statues. And the art class at school painted them, and they stood what used to be Sandy's Beauty Shop right here on the south side, in the little dirt area, and they stood right there.
Those are in Hall Roberts Park now.
Okay, that's where they are.
Yep,
but
that's
okay.
where you'll find them.
All right, good. I often wonder what happened to them.
Yeah.
They were there last year, weren't they? That's probably the first time
I don't know. They've been in Hall Roberts Park since I've been here, so
Oh, okay. So
That's
what-
gonna get
yeah.
decorated.
Within the next, holiday decorations will be going up the week of the 18th.
Okay.
Who decorates Roberts Park?
The
The
city
city-
guys.
City
Oh, the
guys.
city guys do?
Yep.
Mhm.
You know, it used to be that Fran Shager and some of there was a group of us women, and we got together and we did a lot of the decorating downtown. We collected milk jugs and aluminum stuff.
Is that
Okay,
Club of the Hour?
no.
No?
I hesitate to say the name of it because it sounds like we were rebels and we weren't. We were called the Get Along.
Oh,
And we
yeah.
were
Sure.
a group of women.
You're famous. You're famous.
Remember that.
That's what we need. We need another get along
We
gang.
need another group of women,
Yeah.
but we shouldn't be called that because I know even one of us, one member of the group would not admit she was part of it
Oh.
because it was called a get along game.
Oh, okay.
Get along gang, I kind of like that.
Yeah, it was, and we did. We got along. We had meetings, and the library one year could not. The staff could not decorate it, and I was part of the staff. But we went down. We decorated the library, put lights outside and inside, and put up a mini tree, and then we went downtown, up and down streets, and we did different kinds of decorating.
But that'll be fun for next year or something. So.
There you go.
We're also working, on a community betterment group in town, so I'll make sure I put you in charge of it.
I'm not in charge. I've been in charge of that, so, yeah. And there was somebody from REC. What's her name? Michelle?
A lady?
Brenda.
Brenda.
Brenda
Yes.
Eklund.
Mhm. I talked to her one time.
She was a
Anyhow,
smart.
that was,
All
I
right.
was kind of wondering,
Thank you.
All right.
keeping my eye.
Thanks,
on
Norma.
the paper, yeah.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? The other
Is
two
there gonna
folks?
be a public lighting of menorah? Don't they-
I have no
What?
I'm sure there will be.
Could be. Yeah.
On the,
Yeah.
brochure. But Quick Star's there now, I guess, so it'd be hard to do it.
It's
What's that?
usually over
The
at
public?
Bass
No,
Auto.
it's
Yeah.
at
Bass
Bass.
Street.
I've been there
Yeah.
3
I've
times.
seen it, I've seen
Yep.
it there.
Say where, Dennis?
Bass
Bass Auto.
The Bass Auto repair.
For menorah lighting.
Across
Okay.
from,
Quick stop, across from.
is it at Basses?
The old DX station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the public lighting of the menorah.
Oh, yeah.
There was a big crowd last year.
I was
Hey,
Right.
that's okay.
When did that happen?
usually on the coldest night of the year.
On the what?
Like, on the coldest night
Yeah.
of the year.
Yeah, it,
Yeah.
in fact, they canceled it that one night.
Yeah.
I said,
That's crazy.
yeah.
There's also the-
Rabbi Schimmel called me and I said, "Oh, I said, you know how cold it is out there?" And they did cancel it because I can't really take that very good anymore.
Yeah.
When that train comes down the
Oh,
Canadian Northern, that's usually one of the coldest nights of the year.
Yeah.
Goes through McGregor,
Holiday train.
Lansing, you know.
Yeah. we saw it go through town a couple of years ago. It was
That's
lit. of course,
Coming
but
through
we got
again
to
here
see it.
before long.
I tried to get that, but it's hard. You
Is
can't-
it?
Well, it comes through here so early.
I tried to get it to stop here, but we didn't have any luck.
Well, it was set up a big roadblock.
Yeah.
Out
It
there.
goes-
See, you didn't hear that, Chief, did you?
Handkerchiefs around your
Have a little
mouth.
derailment.
Have the get along gang.
That's just
Get
what I was
along,
gonna
yeah,
say.
the
I
get
can't
along.
do it.
All right, so no more public comment. I guess the mayor's report, I've got just a couple things to say. And especially if there's any veterans out there listening to my voice, happy Veterans Day to you guys and
Thank you for your
gals. You bet, you're very welcome. And it's one of those things, I don't know if you guys have, Laura was there today. I mean, the program the school puts on, it's just amazing. And it does a person's heart so much good because born and raised here, you know, and I remember back the Veterans Day programs, but remember back then we were all white. We were all white. We were all same color. And today, it's lots of different colors of kids. And those kids take this to heart. They sit there, they listen, and they participate. It's like, it's
It was
just,
incredible.
it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So, I mean, you know, we take a lot of bad raps once in a while. Our community does. But there's a bunch of people that really need to go to programs like that and understand that we've got a community that really sticks together really well. And people need to see that. And it's wonderful. And I've got lots of folks that if you invite them, they're going to come back again because it's just one of those deals. But yeah, it's always very well done. And then I guess I got another comment. These political signs that are still out and up. And I guess I asked Darcy if we had an ordinance about that. She said we do not. But this election's over. It's time to pull these down now.
I thought the same thing.
And let's just get on with. We're going to get on with it. So I think it's time to pull them down. And that's about all I have to say. Is it? Okay. All right. Okay.
May I say one other thing?
You sure can. Come on up. Come on up. Yep.
It was so cute last week at the food pantry. There was this black gentleman that came in. I don't know if he's from Haiti or where he's from. Doesn't really matter. But he came in and on his jacket he had "I have voted" sticker. And I said to him, "I have voted." And he looked at me. He didn't understand my English, but I pointed at his sticker and I pointed at mine. And he got the biggest grin on his face. And we went like that to each other.
Yeah.
And I just thought that meant quite a bit to him to be able to do that.
Sure does.
Yeah, it was really cute when you say that, all these different nationalities.
Okay. The council comments.
I went to the Hamilton County Economic Development meeting in Lansing, and a really good speaker who was from this area, and he works for there's a Hope Church in Des Moines, 24,000 members. But his speaking was about how do you get volunteers, motivating volunteers. His dad was a doctor in Waupun. I'm trying to get the right name.
Withers,
Withers. Yes.
Bill Withers.
Can you turn this?
Okay.
Thank you.
Really good speaker, and I'm not sure what he costs, if he cost anything. But he's, probably in his 60s, his dad, it doesn't quite seem like his dad just
His
retired,
dad
he just
just
passed
passed
away. Yeah,
He was a county board of health member.
and, really good speaker, and I don't think they had a positive impact business this year. I don't think I fell asleep. Quite possible. Anyway, I think it was pretty well attended,
I wonder if they're revamping that or if they just do it at a different, because last year was Hall Roberts.
Yes. And if nobody nominated something, they wouldn't have one,
They didn't advertise it this year. I didn't get anything about it.
okay? And I just thought that's one of the main reasons I went, just to support the Cousy
No, I didn't
family.
see anything unless I somehow,
Did you go there?
I didn't go this year, no, but I have the report.
Was that
No, this
No.
is here. I just got it in the mail.
okay? Well, they're in our pass around packs, but.
Yeah.
Anyway, it relates a little bit to heart and soul and motivating volunteers. So if he's available or out there or whatever, might be a resource to speak at something.
Sure.
And I've heard the same thing Dennis said about our Memorial Day event. I think the speaker last year was from Walk On.
Yep.
And he was a Vietnam War veteran. And he said that our Memorial Day event at St. Paul's is way better than any other events he's ever been to. And so, so kind of reflection of the same thing. It's St. Paul's, I think, just to get the proximity to the cemetery.
Sure.
So
Well, and it's just a good venue, but today's speaker was Tim
Stavnes.
Stavnes.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, little Tim. He was our neighbor when we were out at the farm.
All right.
They farm right next to us.
I
Little
enjoyed
Tim.
his,
He's good. Very good.
It's interesting too, because we went to the lunchroom tab. You probably went down there too. And it's so cute, these little kids that come up to us, especially the ones in the Legion, because they have the uniforms on, and thank them for their service. And I just thought it was so sweet that sometimes they were timid about it, and sometimes one guy said like, "Dad, thank you for your service," and they cast hands, it was so cute.
That's pretty neat.
It's amazing when they show that a slideshow. We're like a tiny town, and how many of us are related to service members or veterans? It's incredible. It's very,
Yes, it
very
is.
proud. It's amazing.
Yes, it is.
Did they have honor or valor quilts?
Yep,
here?
Quilts Valley. They 3 of them today.
Okay.
Yep.
It's just incredible.
All right. I think we're just about done. So is there a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those say no. We are done. Thanks, everybody.
You're right.
Record or not?